Welcome everyone to our first, not a test, not a prologue, not a little. We're gonna play with the padded edges on things so nothing too bad can happen. Not a railroad, not a minecart, not a Donkey Kong level and featuring railroads and minecarts. It's a regular fucking session.
Oh.
Thank you.
There were an unusual amount of Donkey Kong minecart levels in the previous sessions.
It's true.
It's a little... the bananas.
Mm-hmm.
I can't believe Orcris killed Diddy.
I can! That fucker had it
Yeah,
coming.
actually, it was easy.
That's Thessia and Orcris walking out of the prison, but it's that when you're on your way home from the club, but you
Someone
almost
died.
See, now I feel like there's a weight off my shoulders. We're not even gonna we're not restarting the recording. This is just gonna be where the session begins.
Yeah, that's good.
Cause frankly, this is equally true to the tone of games that I run. We have fun here. But to move to the more serious, the players are all on the stage now, and I am in a departure from everything we've done previously. I don't have a big monologue ready to play us into a very specific scene with. We're gonna start getting slightly loosier, slightly goosier, and so I think I know where I want to start. But as to what is going to happen tonight, just to set your expectations, for the previous sessions, I've typically had many bullet points and sub-bullet points of the general outline of the session that I'm envisioning, and I've more or less stuck to that. And it's had a lot of pre-written stuff. My notes for tonight are 7 short bullet points that are each about a sentence.
Splendid.
So you can pretty much do as you will, but for tonight, given that we were last with Orcris and Thessia, tonight we're going to begin at the White Sanctuary several days later to check in on our good pal. And let me quickly hide some people. All right. And we'll put you over here this time.
Oh.
Oh, we're getting spicy.
Well, no. All right.
We will be on the left side of the room.
Actually, correct. Literally, that's what's changed. You're over here now.
Oh my.
Oz can see.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And let me go ahead and I'll do just a little bit of scene setting here. Let's do this, eh? So Wither, it's been just about a day or two since you helped Autumn and their sister track down the mortar and pestle containing their great-grandmother's soul. And that incident was, as far as you were last aware, resolved essentially to the satisfaction of all involved, thanks to your work and some help from the rather tempestuous man that that the religious authorities hooked you up with to help you there. And you've had some introspecting to do after a rather intense episode that you experienced upon the recovery of the mortar and pestle. What's been your state of mind? What have you been thinking about?
A whole lot, and then a whole lot of nothing. Thoughts have been fleeting. things for whether the past few days, fleeting in the way that they're hard to grasp onto. It's like focusing on one particular thought for too long or too intensely, or the second they start to unravel an idea about a question they have, or a memory, maybe something is there, but it's like sand slipping through their fingers, and they feel untethered. They feel floatier than normal, which is saying something. Ungrounded. But they've been sitting here all morning with various plants and stuff strewn about them on a little mat in front of them, and just observing them. Not touching them, of course, just looking and watching. Seeing what they do when they're placed in the water, seeing what they do when they're burnt on the little candles. Just experimenting.
Do these experiments have a purpose, or is this a reflection of no thoughts, head empty?
It's a bit of both. It seems like the original purpose of doing this was to try and see if they felt anything from these plants when they died in a means that was not due to them, but actually sitting there and observing it and taking stock of the feelings that are happening or not happening. It's like it's not clicking. It's like the pen has run dry and there's no ink coming out.
Yeah, you sit there for an sort of unknowable amount of time in the morning. Morning you infer from other people's habits, but it may have even crept into afternoon when you get into these sorts of head spaces. Often the passage of time becomes quite a vague thing, and so it's sort of it probably was not in any meaningful way sudden, but quote unquote suddenly you feel like you have been approached and they're already right in front of you. Autumn comes by and you notice them sitting across from you, and suddenly they're just as if they were just there. When you looked down, they weren't, and you look back up, and they are. And they are watching you with a look of, you could say, concern.
They look up at her from under the veil. They don't tilt their head up. They merely tilt their eyes up and wait for her to give a response or any sort of indication of interaction beyond casual concern and questionability. Is there any indication of feelings, emotions, thoughts that Wither might see when looking at Autumn now that weren't there before? Now that they've gained the perspective of who this person was to other people.
Well, you're a little ahead of the pitch there, my friend. Pre-watched, spoiled.
No.
Yeah, you wait for Autumn to begin speaking, and she takes a good amount of time just watching you in return, and as the time passes, you do feel some things occur to you, and as is so often the case for you, it's unclear to what extent these are thoughts produced by you, whatever entity could be called you specifically, and to what extent they are being whispered into your ear by a voice of some manner or another from within or without. But you find yourself looking at Autumn and feeling a sort of sense of nostalgia, a sense of closeness to her in a personal, vaguely familial way that could perhaps be the fact that now you've gotten to see a part of her that you had never seen before. As a twice-born, she's been a different person to you than the one that was described to you by her sister, and the person that she was in that life. And so perhaps it's that you see this new side of her and this aspect to her second life that is tangled up with a first life. But it's hard to say if it's just that. It feels as though there is something within you that feels about her in a way that you didn't feel before. Something you could identify distinctly, perhaps.
Wither kind of slowly reaches a hand up to like their collarbone chest area and just places their hand around that area, trying to triangulate where this feeling might be manifesting in their body. And just seeing if there's any sensation at all. Sensation is something that is very dulled for them in general. It's like hitting a drum with cotton over top of it. Everything feels a little bit muffled, but there's like a tinge of something going on here. A normal person would say, ooh, acid reflux. But they're not a normal person, certainly.
Oh, shouldn't have had that second pierogi.
Mm-hmm.
Why don't you roll to die for me?
Ooh, okay.
Remember to clear your swing if you haven't already.
I believe it has been cleared.
I believe I cleared it for everyone.
Thank you. Okay, and it was roll to die, you said?
Yeah.
Yes. And lock in whatever you would like. Spooky.
They feel the pulse through their body. That dull pulse.
Yeah, you reach inside and try and identify where is this sensation coming from. And it feels as though what you perceive is not really linked to a specific part of your body per se, or even a specific part of your mind. It feels as you look inside yourself like you're looking into that black well that suddenly roared to life when you interacted with the mortar and pestle the other day. It feels as though you're sort of peering down into a lake, trying to perceive a very specific, very faint glimmer of light down there. Autumn seems to react a little bit to the coloration of your body shifting slightly and your posture drawing inward, and moves a little forward on her own mat and kind of leans almost over the fountain, looking at you more closely. Are you all right today, Wither?
We are different.
I think I agree with you. I had observed some sort of change since you came back. It's been... I thought I was imagining it at first. And I don't know you as well as Peregrine, say, so it seemed presumptuous to bring it up, but the more that time's passed, the more I've become certain of it. What do you think is different?
They go to open their mouth, like, to speak, to form some sort of response. They close their mouth again and then just look up at her expectantly, like, what do you think kind of face.
She leans back from over the fountain, crosses her arms. I don't know how to say this without it sounding passing strange. Looking at you now feels like... Well, when I looked at my sister of my former life, she feels like a stranger to me now, as I mentioned. And that hasn't changed, I'm afraid. But I get the feeling that when I look at you now, it feels like looking at her must have felt before. It sort of feels vaguely like I'm looking at family. I'm very grateful to you, of course, for your help, but I don't know if that's the only explanation. It seems very strange. I sort of wonder if there's something... Well, if there's something wrong with me to feel this way, if this is some sort of... If it's an impulse, like we sometimes get? I don't know. I haven't been alive again long enough to know, I think. I guess I was hoping maybe you would have some idea what might have come over me. You're unique even among us, and you always have these strange but wondrous insights, it seems like.
Do you feel shame at this confliction, or merely curiosity?
I feel strange.
Is that bad?
Not necessarily, but it's been on my mind. I wish I understood it better than I do.
How
I
can
spo-
we learn? How can we learn more? Do you wish to learn more?
I think I do. If I turn away from the chance to understand this, then I might be turning away from the path that I'm meant to walk in this life.
Hmm.
I considered talking to Zoiad about it, but he's always very adamant about not providing any specific guidance to Twiceborn. Says it's not his place, and I suppose there's a sense in that, but at times I really wish he would be less coy with his advice. And I also considered talking to Peregrine about it since he was involved, but I find it difficult to talk to Peregrine.
Why?
He seems to be very certain of who he is and what he's doing in this life. And I think sometimes he forgets that most of us don't feel that way. I don't have anything... I like Peregrine. I enjoy having him around here. He brightens this place, but he can be a bit overwhelming.
It's almost like that dampness, that muffling that occurs to Wither's senses also applies to people's personalities. Much a good example being Peregrine, and how he's the kind of person that would annoy the shit out of most people, but it's just a Tuesday for Wither. They look down at the little fountain here, the little pond, and the bits and pieces of leaves and petals and stuff that have been floating around, and trying to see if there's any patterns in the way that they've floated about. And a thought occurs to them, and it doesn't feel like a thought of their own. It just feels like an observation, something that they've heard somebody else say once upon a time, and they don't even look up to remark it, but just...
Zoyad and Peregrine are much the same. They know nothing.
Master Zoiad's not the sort of person I would... Well, I suppose he might know nothing. It's hard to tell. He seems like he knows a lot.
We all know nothing.
Oh, I see. It's a philosophical kind of thing.
It is okay to know nothing. It is what you will do with the nothing that matters.
You get a distinctive sensation as you speak those words, Wither, a sort of, not even really a vision, more just like a feeling. You have the feeling, a sort of deja vu-like reaction that you perceive yourself to have given this sort of advice when Autumn was confused and naive and in need of guidance and much younger.
Mm-hmm.
As if you were some sort of authority figure toward her.
So, where will we go to learn more? If this is what you have chosen to do with your nothing.
Well, I suppose we could ask priests, but to be honest, I prefer Master Zoiad's approach of, even though it's frustrating when he doesn't give any advice, I prefer it to many priests, if I'm being honest, who seem only too eager to give advice, even when it doesn't always feel like they've listened.
Very well.
I mean, the only other people involved in the incident before were Peregrine, you, that, the men that you said had taken the object. I don't have any reason to think they would know what's changed with me, but it feels like there's something still to uncover.
Then we will dig.
They get up. The little cloth with all the plants and stuff that was kind of laying on their lap falls to the ground. They don't clean it up. They just let it fall where it will.
Where do you intend to go?
They will look back at this little pond here.
Mm-hmm.
And imagine it as a Imagine it as an analog for Skaan and see if any particular petals have floated in a particular direction.
Oh.
Where is
Okay.
Gaia pointing them?
Well, as you look toward the displaced pieces of flora floating on the surface of the fountain, slowly rotating, bumping into one another, and you kind of try and form shapes among them with your eyes. The first thing that catches your attention isn't the shape of a place per se, but a leaf joins with another and forms a sort of jagged diagonal that does immediately put you in mind of that obsidian arrowhead that you removed from the dead brother of the two thieves.
Okay.
You parted ways with them after that, after instructing them to bury their brother, and you've not had any opportunity to hear more of them since then. You've only to assume that they did what you asked. They certainly seemed likely to do so, based on where you left things.
We have an idea. But nothing clear. We seek the two individuals who made away with your precious item.
Okay. Is it going to be dangerous?
Their eyes just kind of roll over to her, like, nondescriptly.
We do not know.
She considers this for a moment and then seems to simply accept that as an answer and get ready to follow you.
We will seek them, though we have no indication of where they might be, if they are not where we have left them.
You get another little pang of nostalgia. Going for a walk with Autumn. And you're more mobile than you used to be. That's nice. What the hell does that... Yeah, what the hell does that... You've never been any more or less mobile than you are right now. That's a weird thing to think. All right, so you're gonna head off. Let's see. Yeah, let's... Oh boy, now it falls to me. What order do we want to set things up in?
Set things up.
Set things up?
What are
This
the
whole
things? I'm afraid of the things.
This whole thing was a setup. Let's see. Yeah, okay. Let's stick with you for now.
Oh.
I'm gonna grab these. We're gonna throw you over.
No.
Ah! Overboard!
Into the breath.
Yeah.
Into the drink. Slurp. Let's start preloading this massive fucking guy. And let's get rid of you.
Downloading.
100%.
100%.
Alright.
And let's go ahead and just put you down here. And we'll do this. And we'll put the camera here. And activate.
Whoa.
And you head back toward the foundation, the area where you had apprehended the thieves before. And Autumn follows behind you, looking around at first with a bit of nervousness, but you're completely placid to the point of indifference attitude towards any possible danger or risk. Eventually, it becomes infectious, and she just sort of seems to take it as, well, Wither seems to think that this is totally fine, so I guess there's nothing to worry about, and just adopts a more relaxed pace behind you.
Mm-hmm.
She looks around a lot as you head through here. It's likely that she hasn't spent much time in this part of the city since beginning her second life. They brought it all the way out here? What a sad place.
Guy who lives here is like, hey, man.
Hey,
Hey man, what the fuck?
fucking, jeez.
We're trying.
Yeah, we're poor. Sue us. Don't sue us.
We're
Actually,
trying, he says with a broom in his hands, just sweeping.
Sweeping the dirt.
Sweeping the dirt into his house.
This is mine.
Get it while it's hot.
I'm selling dirt in Skaan,
selling-
you bitch.
I've sold dirt in 8 states. Now you make your way out here, and as you get to this intersection, your eyes alight a little bit to the north. You recall this being the spot where you had miraculously pried this long gone obsidian arrowhead, this old wound, out of the dead body, which the brothers then carried off to bury somewhere, presumably.
They look up at this arch as they pass under it.
Autumn instinctively looks up at it as well. Was it here?
It being.
The place where you found my great-grandmother. Or my sister's great-grandmother.
Yes and no. It was given over here. But another gift was given as well. Do you know of the militia? Is this the right word?
I know that some parts of the city have dedicated guards, the important places, the rich places.
Wither
But I-
thinks back to what was said about this brother when he got harmed. And what was the circumstance surrounding that they described again?
They were all in the proper actual army together on a campaign during a previous time when the stolen breath was low enough to traverse the world. Skaan has in its history engaged in at least a modest amount of empire building at times. And so there have been, whether there are right now, not sure, but there have been at points other city-states basically brought under its rule remotely as part of an empire.
Okay. And the obsidian arrow, is that something that Wither kept, or did the brothers take that back?
You gave it to them and instructed them to bury it with their brother.
Him, yes.
Though you arrive back at this spot, and you can see, but beside this old crumbled white marble, something dark catches your eye, and you can see only a short distance from where you parted ways with the brother. In fact, the arrowhead lies half covered in dust.
Motherfuckers.
Fucking bitch!
You had one job!
They'll reach down and pick it up.
Yeah. You reach down and pick up the arrowhead, and it feels much as it did when you pulled it from the dead brother's chest the other day. It feels not merely like an extension of him to you, it feels like the core of him almost. That perhaps it was more than coincidental that it was lodged so near his heart.
They hold it in their hand. It's still got a bit of dust on it, and they're feeling that feeling from it. But something that occurs to them that I don't think has occurred to them about any other thing that any other object, or they've never considered this before. This is an object from outside of Skaan. This is something from the wider world. This is something
Probably
from
true.
far away. And that's like fascinating to them.
This object was the cause of their sorrow. Unknowingly. It killed their brother at some point and drove them to seek means to bring him back.
Autumn looks down at the small shard of obsidian in your hand. Something about it angers me. Feels like this is the reason that my grandmother was taken from us.
They think on that for a moment.
You
They
notice
feel
also go ahead.
eyes watching them.
Yeah, you notice also that very slowly a small, not a crowd, but several people are kind of beginning to accrete around you. The sight of two twice-born wandering about, clearly on some kind of business, is always always an occasion for interest by passersby at any tier of the social hierarchy. Especially considering the the dust up that happened the last time you came through here with Orcris. A very, very tall and broad-shouldered woman pushes past this other guy who had kind of just been like hovering around nervously and actively walks up to the two of you. Is there anything I can do to assist you?
Do you know what happened to the brothers who were here?
There's a little flash of recognition on her face when you mention those, and a bit of surprise as well, like that was something that she had been contemplating that she didn't expect you to bring up all of a sudden. No, I don't know what became of them, but I They're friends of mine, and I hadn't seen them around for a little bit. First, when so I'm told, they skived off to some ruined temple or something, but longer still after that. Who are they to you, if, it's not blasphemous of me to ask?
It is. Die.
I shoot her with my gun.
They turn to Autumn because they know this isn't their, I wouldn't say secret to divulge, but this isn't something that they should talk about.
They stole something from the woman who was my sister in my former life. And I asked my friend Wither to try and retrieve it. And they did. So, I suppose you couldn't say that I know them exactly, but I don't believe they're any friends of mine. Ah. I understand. They did have a way of getting in over their head, getting into trouble. So I can't say I'm terribly surprised.
You will tell us of the older brother, the one who died.
Oh. Well, she sort of crosses her arms like she's about to say, "Well, I don't know," and then she remembers who she's talking to. If that can help you, then I don't see the harm. It's Nemero and Desmond, the two that I take it you've met, and their eldest, Hibezu, who passed away about a week ago now. He was, yeah, it's not too unkind to say. He was the brains of that family. And the brawn, to be honest. Those other two probably wouldn't have lasted as long as they did if they hadn't had him looking out for them. But they seemed happy together. I sort of got the sense that each of them was the only thing the others had in life. I mean, they did some errands for me every now and then, but we weren't close. So I guess that's about all I know myself. I think I think Hibezu was some kind of, well, he wasn't a war hero, but he covered himself in a bit of glory back in the day, despite his low station in the army. The other two didn't, to put it plainly. They wouldn't have been there if they'd had any choice.
They hold up the arrowhead and just like see if this woman reacts in any way to it.
She looks down at it in your hand and doesn't appear to have any immediate reaction to it, but she looks down at it and looks back up at you. Is this something of theirs?
It can be said, in a way. Hibezu kept it in his person. Close to his heart.
Bastard was tougher than I realized. She turns around and kind of like looks at this guy for a second, and he gets the message and is like, all right. Makes himself scarce. Turns back to you. I I'm sure you've got your own business, but I would really like to find those two. And I haven't had a lot of luck so far just poking around here myself. Starting to get a little concerned. I assumed after what I heard about what happened that they would have just gotten picked up by religious authorities or something, but I haven't heard about anything like that. I haven't really heard about anything since the other day when it sounds like everything went down. And that concerns me.
This is a perplexing thought. You have stated you did not know them very well.
She her mouth very slightly opens and closes a little bit, and she does seem to take a second to collect her thoughts and consider how to word what she's going to say next. You're right. But, well, you know how I said the three of them kind of only had each other? That's just how things work around here. For a lot of us, we all only have each other. So, when someone vanishes off the streets, well, I'm sure it goes unnoticed by people in the nicer parts of the city, but it doesn't go unnoticed here. Can you make a roll to die for me, please?
Woo!
Ooh. Yeah, fuck it. Purple.
Yeah. You, everything she just said is plausible enough, and it doesn't, you don't get the sense from listening to her words that she's being deceitful or anything, but, let's see, you locked in purple, eh? When she was beginning to get ready to say that, you saw a momentarily very familiar, very studied, slight sort of throb in the Adam's apple area, just from the way she swallowed and the way she spoke the words physically, regardless of the content of what she said. You can tell just from the body language, she is holding something back here.
You will divulge your confliction.
Sorry, I'm not sure. The fancy words might be getting a little lost in translation here. You know something?
If you want these brothers found through some is the word moral reason to make yourself feel better, we have been told it is better to tell the whole truth.
All right. There's not a lot more to say, but they are, you could call them employees of mine also. They do errands for me, like I said, but they do them fairly regular. I own a place over in Kiln Street, and so it's going to create problems for me also if they never show up again, and I'm starting to get worried about that being a real possibility. with how completely vanished they seem to be. Didn't seem really pious to come out and ask for help from, well, two people like you for, you know, a material concern like that. But so be it. I'm not above it. I could use them back. I thought I was going to have to replace them. I thought I'd written them off for dead, to be honest, after I heard what kind of trouble they'd gotten into. And then I was hopeful for a second, and it's starting to look like I was premature.
An idea pops into Wither's head. How she is referring to these people, the way she's talking about them. They're employees, she knows them a little bit, but it's like she's talking about another couple objects, and the little ripples of that idea, of that concept, spread out and remind them again of how the great-grandmother they were looking for was reduced to nothing but an object for others to use. It's a weird sense. It's like they should feel, you know, they should feel not maybe not mad about it, but they should feel some way about it. But it's very matter of fact. It's very transactional in their brain.
Very well. Autumn, do you have any reservations? Does this speak to you as your answer?
Autumn considers for a moment, kind of puts a hand to the back of her head. I really don't know. I was hoping, coming here with you, looking around this place, that I'd feel something clear, but it's usually not that easy, and it hasn't been that easy right now. I suppose I would like to find them, because if they really do vanish, then they will never have a chance to apologize to my sister. And that's something I think I would like, for her and for me.
Very well. Do you know of the third man who was here on that day?
The woman you've been speaking to puts a hand to her chin. A third man. No, I didn't know there was anyone else involved. I'd heard that they had an altercation with two Twiceborn, and somehow survived that far. But no, I didn't hear about another man.
Then we are looking for 3 people who have vanished. What is your name? What are you called?
So, really funny story, I say as Aram, not as this character. I appear to have not copied over the very last set of changes that I made in the game on my other computer. So, I can tell you, this character has a name. It's not in the game.
I will write it down as question mark.
Okay, hang on. I've got it. I found it. It's all cool. Her name is Agdaki.
Ooh, how do I spell that?
Like a this.
Thank you.
Also, it's the wrong version of this token. She was supposed to look like a different variant of this generic, but this is canonical now.
Hooray!
I see. Well,
We made it. Here, I'll give you directions to my shop in the works. If you do manage to find anything, I'm gonna be looking as well, of course, but I would really appreciate the help if you don't mind. Time's marching on. And the longer that passes, the more I'm beginning to think I might never see them again.
Very well.
And this third man, tell me about him. I can keep an eye out for him as well.
We could not tell you what we do not know.
Now it's her turn to kind of cock her head to the side and look with some appraisal. You know there was a third man, but not anything about him?
He was indescribable in a way. He had to call him different would not paint a very specific picture.
Indescribably different, then.
Yes.
Her eyes slide a little bit to the right. I don't suppose you have anything to add? I didn't meet this man. All right. She does not entirely conceal her annoyance, despite you being a twice-born. She's like a little, come on. All right. Well, now that I know there was another person, maybe I can find something out. Wither, was it? I'll remember the name.
We have been called Wither, yes.
Whether or not Wither actually remembers Chris's name, it's like literally you can't tell.
Yeah.
in the time since they schlorped the mortar and pestle, it's like definitive facts and descriptive features and names and things like that have kind of turned into soup in their brain. So they will instead go to the one place that they know they have met him and where they met him the first time, and we'll just wait and hope that maybe he will show up.
That maybe he will show up. Well, I mean, I don't know that I'm gonna get a better segue than that.
We will go to the chapel and hear Sharades yell about things that do not need to be yelled about.
That's how we do. All right, then I think we're going to cut to where that nice little segue I feel naturally leads us, which is we're gonna check in with a most indescribable man. Let's see. What music do I do here? I almost feel like it should be actively ominous all the time when you're on stream, but that's probably too overwhelming. How about, let's see.
What's up, creepy?
Or Chris.
Not much freak.
Man, you hit that hard.
Yeah, you did.
An indescribable man leans back in an indescribable chair. It's fairly describable. It's a nice chair. And you got your nice little your bowl of fruit off to the side. You got a rest for your feet. Frankly, you've been doing an unusually great amount of running around lately for various reasons.
Mm-hmm.
And you've got a chance to just have an afternoon in here at a grand underground pillar supporting the geode in Skaan's underground.
Shit, dude,
where
you live under an overpass?
Yeah, basically.
the pillar that you call home.
Yeah,
or
I'm
at
cooking.
least the place you call home more than any other single place.
Oh, you cooking?
Yeah, I'm cooking.
What are you cooking?
Mind your own business.
Okay.
Cooking up a plan.
A little bit of lunch. Just trying to essentially mostly just feed myself, and I'll set 2 bowls off to the side as well.
What's for lunch, if I may ask?
Like a curryish sort of food. Hard to tell completely by looking at it, but
An indescribable meal.
yeah,
Indescribable meal.
it's a sort of curry, and it is pretty tasty. Made with lots of delicious spices. It sets for a very flavorful, savory sort of taste. And I will, for the other 2 bowls I am preparing, begin preparing a special ingredient.
Oh.
Which I just sort of plop into the mix. It looks like a sort of ground up, like almost like a ground beef sort of deal. And yeah. Bum ba-dum bum 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 ba-dum bum bum ba-dum bum bum. Let's see. All right. And then I'll take my bowl. I come over and I have a seat in my indescribable chair. While I also I set my little bowl on the table, and I come over here. I pick up one of these horns, and it has some unique glyphs inscripted upon it. I take a sip of my dream wine, and I will start to chomp away on my food while I try to decipher the mysteries of a time before time.
Wow. Truly an indescribable agenda, even. All right. Is this are you actually attempting to do some augury here?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Why don't you just give me a roll to do?
Whoop.
Now, you ease back in your indescribable chair and sip on some wine that's I'm gonna just infer you called it dream wine, so we got some kind of we got a little sumpum in there, right?
It's fucking tussin. It's just like, yeah, this make my cough better.
Yeah.
And basically it's like it's a sleeping aid for the most part, but like it's also good if you're a little sick. and when mixed properly with certain other elements, you can get a nice little hallucinogenic sort of thing.
Oh, you're having a flame and mo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Arcris is not oft sober, but not in the sort of drunken way. He doesn't like things that make him sleep unless that's what he feels he needs to do. Unless that's what he feels he needs to do.
Mhm.
If he feels he needs to like dream or, astrally project as he sees it, then, sure, why not? But for the most part, he likes to remain awake and alert, but altered.
Yeah. So you sip your concoction here while you eat your lunch, and you do not sleep, but you close your eyes to see what dark visions might swim before them. Because it's been an unusually tumultuous week for you. And the most recent events were the most intense and personal of all. And given your general worldview, I imagine that you are probably thinking things may be more connected than they appear on the surface, and you want to peel back that cover and try and see the artifice beneath. And every time you let your brain kind of circle on this, and you think about the prison, you think about the thefts, reforged objects, you think about that powerful yet entirely useless man that you had to have killed. It's frustrating. It's like there's something that's being dangled just out of your reach, and every time you feel like you're beginning to apprehend it, something intrudes. And in this particular time, you let your mind circle a few times, and it feels like you're beginning to see some pattern. And as usual, something else kind of comes to the forefront. It doesn't feel like the answer. It feels like an interruption. And you find your mind's eye wander to that massive hole that's opened up elsewhere in Skaan, the one that this Thessia character apparently was responsible for, and that has got so many people running around with like chickens with their heads cut off, subterranean chickens, naturally.
Of course.
And that's largely not of interest to you. Yet it keeps kind of intruding, standing in front of the movie screen while you're trying to watch it, annoyingly. And as it does
That
so,
alone, that alone would sort of that alone would make me think there's maybe more to it than perhaps I had given it than perhaps I had considered initially. At first, I thought it may be just it's a big city, probably potholes everywhere, and infrastructure, blah blah blah. But now I think of it almost as an opening, a mouth, and
No.
I think upon what it may find itself eating before I remember. Ah, yes, Father. Let's see. I grab a bowl. Yes, it'll be fine. I will take the bowl upstairs.
All right.
Oh, Father!
Come up the stairs, and the smell of dust definitely predominates more on this floor. And your oh father is met with silence.
This one isn't his room, is it?
Yeah, so the one to the side here is where you've got him in his bed.
Father?
There's a quiet, indistinct murmur, and the covers kind of shift a little.
Father, I've prepared lunch for you.
There a hand emerges from the side and motions at the bench that you've set beside the bed. As is often the case these days, your father has entirely encased himself under the covers of the bed here for fear that any lingering illness could be passed to you.
Oh, I'm not worried about all of that. Father.
What?
It's time to eat.
Pull the covers aside, I assume.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't look any better. Parts of his body ended up crumbling away when he stopped eating almost entirely during the worst of it. Marcus, he's still alive.
Of course.
Why?
Because this is my game. Now eat up, Father.
He's passed the bowl to him. And you can feel as you set it into his hand that his hand does not have the strength to support it, so you kind of have to guide it down to the surface of the bed. He slowly and rather wretchedly kind of curls up and slowly rolls over to bring his mouth near the bowl so that he can start sort of pathetically sipping on it.
How are you feeling today, Father?
You get an indistinct sigh in response.
Any more crumbling?
I'm finished.
Already? I kind of stir it around with a little spoon. Come now. You need to eat. It's the only way you're going to get your strength back.
Not going to get my strength back.
Have you had any interesting dreams?
His mouth opens and closes for a while without any distinct sounds coming out in a mannerism that you've come to realize seems to be something that just happens when he is really having to engage any sort of cognitive strain at all. It's like he can't think without speaking silently anymore. He has to form the words on his mouth in order for them to exist in his brain. There's two of them. Two of them.
Two of them.
The body and the soul.
The body and the soul. Speak up.
He's slipped back into slumber.
Very well. I will grab a small. I will grab a small cask, and I will sort of hold his head back, close his nose, pour a little bit into his mouth. Hold my hand over his mouth just to make sure he's still breathing. Make sure everything goes down good.
Yeah, he eventually does swallow it.
It's fine. It's just medicine.
He shudders a bit in his sleep. You can see him turn. You can see him turn a little. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
You see him turn a little and resume kind of mouthing nothings while not even being awake now.
The first sip always tastes like rotten copper. But let it rest on your tongue, and soon it will taste as honey. Before long, it will taste as ambrosia itself. I take a little sip.
Terrible.
Terrible. Better now.
I can't even describe it.
Yes.
Okay. Well, that's all I'm going to get out of him. I will come over and start watering my garden. I have a small garden of various funguses, some small underground plants and herbs, a lot of tubers, and
You can hear, sort of faintly because you're upstairs, but you can hear a thumping on the door from the floor below.
A visitor? Very well. I'll just set my jar down there and head downstairs, see what's up.
All right. Let's see. Put that there. Yeah. And as you make your way around, you hear more distinctly now that this is a knock with a particular rhythm. This is one of your informants coming to deliver something.
Splendid. I open the door.
Yeah, this is a little urchin in your employ. You have many of them.
Mm-hmm.
And he gives you a little bow, and You asked me to tell you when there was anything about either that the incident or that magistrate, right?
Yes.
Apparently, there's going to be some kind of tribunal over it. That's what I've heard, and it sounds like it's going to be Etria overseeing it, and they're gonna be. It's something involving the Shapers. There's
All
gonna be
right.
some kind of announcement later today, apparently.
Well done. Here. I grab my bowl.
The kid wanders in a little, looking around, kind of like, whoa.
Here. A bowl of food, and I'll flip him a few coppers.
Takes a bite of what you made. Indescribable. He knows the ones who've worked with you for long enough know that you don't really do small talk with them. So as soon as you've flipped him the money and given him the food, he gives you another quick bow and gets the hell out of Dodge, shuts the door behind him.
Go over to that bowl that I left out earlier, or rather, probably left it on the pot so that it can cook. I just turned the heat down on the fire.
Just walk over.
Yeah.
I take a bite.
That's good. Is this this is just the normal one, or does this have your special ingredient also?
This has the special ingredient.
Okay. Yeah, it's got a rich additional layer.
Mm-hmm. The one I took upstairs also had the rich additional ingredient.
Yeah. Huh.
Let's
Nothing
move
but the best. Nothing but the best for dear old dad.
Indeed. Could use a bit more to hide the gaminess. Let's see here. I'll add like a pinch of flour. And continue stirring. A few more spices. A little garlic powder. Yes, I suppose now it's time. I take the bowl.
Mm-hmm. And just so that I know what you're going for here, do you want to...
Yeah, I'm ready to go downstairs.
Okay. I thought maybe you wanted to cut, but if not, that's fine.
We can cut.
Okay. Whatever. This is your piece. This is your timing. However you feel you want to go for it. So if you want to go downstairs now,
if you have, well, yeah. If you have something else to interrupt, something else to get me in touch, because I have been thinking about Thessia a lot, and my particular revelations about her, and I've been wanting to try to find an excuse to go see her again, see if I am onto something, or if maybe it was just a weird feeling. I get those sometimes. And
okay. Well, if
I also would like to potentially fish about to see if there might be any sort of potential reward for my assistance that day. I didn't really get to check back in with them. But I might make a doctor's call, like a house call real quick, just to check on Thessia, make sure everything's good.
Okay. Well, I don't think I'm going to have any difficulty getting you in places. So it's if you want to go downstairs now and just do that first, that's fine. But if you want to save that for later, that is totally fine too.
Feels like an end of the session sort of
Okay.
situation. Yeah, you know.
Then yeah, let's cut over then. Real quick. Let's see. Where are we starting today? I think. Yeah. Okay. Give me just a second to arrange some deck chairs.
I hope in the basement is just like you have a streamer and
Yeah.
just like this high-tech gaming setup.
Yeah, it's just like a complete gamer lab, like RGB everything.
He's a
VTuber.
fucking VTuber.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have little posters with my VTuber on them, and
Good
I
God.
I have like a voice modulator so that I
Mhm.
sound like a girl, and it's like, hey guys,
Hey guys, what's up? We're throwing
It's Chrissy.
it's Chrissy.
Oh
Short for
boy.
Crystal,
Horrid.
obviously.
Today I'm playing Banjo Kazooie.
Today we're playing Cult of the Limb.
Uh-oh, sorry guys. Be right back. There's a knock at my door. It's the police. What do you want?
What do you want?
You know never to disturb me at this time.
Okay, yeah, we
I'm doing
are
my
gonna
dark
go.
auguries.
Yeah. During my indescribable auguries. Let's do...
Congratulations, and you're welcome for the epithet, by the way.
I have.
Anytime you get information, thank you for the tips.
Thank you very much for the bits of information. All right. Meanwhile,
Green bean.
Green bean.
oh, it's been, even though you were asleep, questionably, for several days following your exposure to the stolen breath, nevertheless, the events at Stonehold really took a toll on you, such that you've been sleeping like a rock. If I were okay.
Kill him.
For every night since. And often rising a bit later than usual for yourself as well, Thessia. And so, it's no surprise that, as is usually the case, when you come downstairs, your mother is already up. Well, she's up in a sense. She's seated at the table here, a stack of tablets to one side. Unusually for her, it looks like she is actually asleep at the moment. She's kind of, she's on this little couch, but sort of like angled toward the table, like she was working there, and kind of was like, let me just close my eyes for a sec.
Yeah. I think before I, like, wake her up or anything like that, I would like to study these tablets in front of her. What seems to be the details on them?
Well, they're sort of brief dossiers on a number of moneyed or influential families or individuals who are around your social stratosphere. So if you had to guess, she may be looking for someone else to replace Laharza in that role since he melted.
Yeah. I think she crosses two arms and then puts two on her hips and just kind of like huffs. Yeah, I'm sure we're going to be able to make another deal like that again. She'll very gently kind of like put a couple hands on her mom's shoulder. How long have you been here?
Oh, she's still asleep.
Yeah, that's kind of hoping to like wake her up gently.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay. Sorry, I thought you might have been asking in the spirit of thinking she was already awake.
Oh, no,
Okay.
no. It's just a very gentle kind of nudge.
Her eyes flicker open one at a time, which looks a lot more impressive on her than on most people.
Yeah.
She puts a hand on the couch and cranes her body around, looks up at you a bit blearily, and then puts herself together in the span of about half a second. Thessia, what time is it?
An outstanding question, actually. Looks around. Is there any way that I can quickly discern what time? I can't imagine we have like a digital clock or anything
No.
like that.
Well, from the way the light is falling, you can estimate the position of the minor ring and therefore the relative time of day. It's late morning, which is late to rise for your standards and very late by her standards.
We're getting close to afternoon at this point.
God. She rubs her eyes. I had hoped it was earlier. She looks at the tablets for a second. Have you eaten? Are you eating properly since you've been up
As
and about?
much as I can. I'm still a little... She kind of like wiggles all of her arms. Wishy-washy at the moment.
Simony said you lost some weight while you were under, so make sure that you're eating appropriately, not pushing yourself.
And I could say the same for you. This is not exactly ideal for sleeping.
She looks around. Well, in an official sense, I haven't slept yet.
Then maybe that's a cue that maybe you should.
She looks across the table at nothing for a moment. I do need to finish this review first. You look like you have something to say?
I'm just saying, I think you've worked hard enough. I don't think there's anything wrong with having a small break, or more importantly, any amount of real rest. You've been stressed since our excursion from the depths. Everything that happened there with the deal that fell through, me and my own health issues. I think you've earned the right to at least one day of, maybe not relaxation, because I know you don't like that word, but a time of recuperation.
She runs a hand through her hair.
You're so exhausted. And actually, let me be pragmatic. You are so exhausted at this point, you might make mistakes. And you'll be even angrier.
She pauses. This is the first thing you've said that she appears to give serious consideration.
Yeah. Thessia forgets, like, I can't use emotion with Mom. I have to be very logical again.
You're right, of course. Very well.
It's one day. Just one.
Oh, I didn't agree to a day, but you're correct that I could take in a bit of rest in my bed. I'm sure I will find it more restful than here at the table.
Kind of like
She
help her
stands up. Yeah, she scoops up the tablets as well.
I'll take a couple. It's easy for me to carry things.
Yeah, she sees you grab a few and it extends a hand to accept them from you then.
All right. Very delicately, like, stacks them in her hands just so that they're a little more manageable.
Let's be careful with those, thank you. All right.
Always.
Have a good day, dear.
You too, Mother.
This is how your mother has been since you've been awake. After Xenion went and found her in the city, she was waiting for you when you returned from the prison and was quite effusive, quite overwhelmed. You could easily tell that she had been crying, and since that moment, since your homecoming, in which she was clinging on to you like the most precious thing in the world that she'd just about lost. Since then, she has snapped back so hard into business mode that it's almost uncanny. It's like the events of the mine visit and everything that followed didn't even happen, or that further than that, she seems to be going out of her way almost to be all business, even with you.
Creating a distraction.
Yeah.
Thessia kind of like watches the stairs for a while. Well, if any of those don't pan out, we need money all the same. And so she's gonna kind of dust herself off, and she's probably gonna go to the school, because I mean she's got to do some teaching, and also I don't know if I've been back to the Shapers Guild recently, but I should probably go check up with them and make sure everything's okay, or if I even have a job still.
Well, for the sake of interesting TV, I think it's more interesting to say that you haven't been back yet.
Sure.
So that we can see your first moments back there. Let's see. Let me just do.
Yeah, and it's been like a few days since
It's been since you woke up. It's been like if Stonehold was like 2 days ago, so you've had a full day since then, and then this is the next day following that.
Oh boy, okay, so yeah, it's been a while because I was also unconscious for like.
Yeah, you were unconscious for a couple of days, so probably you haven't set foot there in about 4 days now total.
Okay, not as bad as I thought, but yeah, it's not good.
Yeah, so you make your way downtown, walking fast, and arrive back at the College of Alteration, where, from how it's been described to you, it sounded like they were in mega crisis mode after the enholening.
Yeah.
You arrive back now, and honestly, it doesn't look as bad as all that. It looks busy. There's a certain frantic edge to the energy that's not always here, but it doesn't look like things are in an emergency state right now.
Yeah. I should probably go track down Mikrios first. Strictly because he will be nice about letting me know how bad things are.
Fortunately for you, he's actually on his way down. And from the time of day, he's probably finished his morning lessons. And as soon as he sees you across the room, he kind of does a double take. And then just like no thought to decorum, just sprints across the room and kind of screeches to a halt in front of you. Oh my, Thessia, you're... I have to say, I didn't know all the details of what had happened, but they said that you may have been, that you were taken by the breath, and they brought back a body, and I...
Politely, you're fired.
It was horrendous, to put it mildly. Yes, I've had quite the dreadful few days, to put it mildly.
He puts his hands on his shoulders and almost kind of like squints at your face, and you're really all... I personally never known anyone who's survived the breath. I thought maybe it was just a stupid dare that people would give that had gotten, I'm sure, plenty of people killed by now, and so I had heard maybe that you were up and around, but I didn't really want to let myself believe it.
It took a while. I was essentially in a small coma for a few days, and I'm here now. I won't lie. I'm still a little out of whack, I suppose. But I wanted to swing on by to check on all of you because I know that things have been a bit wild. And I won't lie, selfishly, I want to make sure I still have a position here.
Wild's an understatement. I have never seen the college in the kind of state it's been in. Well, it's easing off of it now, but... Hey.
I was about to say, it seems more or less fine around here, though. I imagine that's courtesy of your hard work.
Well, I'd love to say you're right, and it's certainly true that I've been working overtime, but really all of us have. They've had us down in shifts looking at this enormous chasm that just ripped open in the city, and honestly, we still don't have a clear plan of action. There's some kind of... my understanding is Ninarel's talking things over with religious authorities about whether there's some kind of significance there. They haven't had us working on the surface. It's all been trying to repair damage underground so far.
Work from the
So
bottom
there's still-
up. Makes sense.
Yeah, so there's still a big gaping hole in the middle of the street, and the city's put up what it can, but they can't just let us seal it up because it would be a thin little cover over a massive pit, and that could lead to more trouble than having a pit people can see, you know?
Especially like cups or chin and things. I mean, it could be used as an elevator shaft if we wanted to have another option to get between the levels.
Yeah, the idea's been suggested. People are trying to put their best face forward on this, but it's a bit of a disaster, if I'm being honest.
Probably a stupid question. Was anyone harmed when this hole was created?
He pauses for a second and gives you a very faint, like, oh honey look that he quickly banishes, but he rubs his eyes.
It was a stupid question, wasn't it?
Well, yeah, you really haven't heard much yet, have you, in the way of details?
No,
I suppose if you've been
not
to
at all.
college. Well, there were a handful of people on the street where it opened up, and it almost exactly encompassed the footprint of a workshop, and so that's just, well, gone. And it sounds as though there were some number of people in there. Not all the information is available even to us yet. They've been pretty clear that our job is to get the thing dealt with and not to worry about, well, the exact consequences. But, yeah, right now it sounds like the estimate is probably 10 or so. And some injuries.
And do we have any other details that...
This is too happy, given what we're now talking about.
I'm sorry, that's my fault. I know what I brought up.
All right, yeah, hit the jukebox real quick.
Do we have any other information regarding, like, to the full extent of what caused it? Based on its general shape, I imagine it is more similar to shaping rather than anything natural.
Yeah, we can't really deny that, as much as some of us would like to. It is... Well, I've seen some of it up close. It is the kind of unnatural, perfect shape that you never see in nature. Whole thing, far as we can tell, perfectly cylindrical from top to bottom. Just... Stone just... snaps his fingers, gone. Swept aside like it was nothing.
Do we know of any... I mean, I wouldn't say bumped into, but I did learn about someone recently that could be worth investigating further.
Oh?
Do you recall an individual by the name of, Myron?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, we weren't close exactly, but we'd work together sometimes, and yeah, I believe he kind of counts on his fingers for a second. It's certainly been 8, 10, better part of a year, certainly, since he passed away.
Passed away?
Yeah. Did you? I guess it was very sudden, so I guess I don't know exactly who was told what by who when, but yeah, no,
Passed away
apparently
from sickness, or?
I have to assume because it sounds like it took his whole family at home.
I
And
see.
he seemed unwell to my recollection in the last couple of days that he was still coming in to work here. So I don't think anyone told me that's what it was, but that's what I've always assumed. What has he got to do with what's going on?
She now realizes that she's in a very odd position because that was not the information she expected to get. It's just that it makes me wonder about, Myron, if I'm not mistaken, was...
You?
Oh? Me? Tosses
You
his hair.
with me now, please.
Oh, this isn't fun. Okay. Well...
How dare you get sick?
Well, thank you so much for, a warm welcome, and I apologize for all the trouble.
He starts to get out of the way, but he kind of whispers, she's been, she's had it the worst of any of us the past couple days.
I imagine so. All the same, thank you.
Well, good luck.
Yeah, I'm gonna need it. Takes a very deep bow. And,
Master Thessia?
Minerel?
Why don't we find a room where we can speak privately?
It's just a room you want to yell at me in.
Do you say that out loud?
Kind of mumbles it a little bit.
She kind of gives you a look like, what was that?
It sounds swell.
A room where you want to be
Want to
swell with me is what I
at
said.
me in.
Fessy
Yeah.
is like bracing for impact.
Yeah, she does have her own quarters, but they're kind of at the opposite end of the building, and she doesn't seem inclined to take the time walking back there with you before beginning to speak, and so she just turns off into the first room that's available, basically, which is our good old classroom here. It's definitely not just an excuse for me to reuse this map.
Hey, why not?
My favorite Pokemon. Okay, let's put you here, and music.
Up.
How much trouble am I in?
Let's see. What do you got for me, Jukebox? Sure. Yeah. So she leads you in here and sweeps the curtains closed behind you and further walks deeper into the room, motioning for you to follow her. First of all, I'm glad to see you alive and well.
Me too.
Else I'd have no one to yell at right now.
Almost literally. I need you to tell me right now everything that you know about the truth of... Were you responsible for the yawning abyss that opened up in the lower city?
Am I able to try and do a read on her to kind of like gauge what direction would be better for me in this situation?
That depends. How much do you know?
Let's see. Yes. Why don't we, yeah, okay. Go ahead and give me a roll to do.
You got it.
And I'm going to...
Because this is more of an emotional read, I will lock in yellow, like whatever it rolls. I'll just have.
Okay. Sorry, I just realized I forgot to slap these modifiers on here. Okay, so, I'm gonna roll to die for her. And she is gonna lock in... Yeah. She looks like she would love for you to say no. But also wouldn't necessarily accept it as the truth.
Okay. Thessia takes a deep sigh and kind of like leans forward on the table. I know this is not going to be the greatest answer you want to hear. I'm not 100% certain, but it seems likely. Kind of gives a shrug and like, that's the best I got.
Can you expand on that?
So, we were dealing with a mine collapse. It's the reason I had left class early. I apologize for that. But it was wise that I did because we had miners in danger, as well as a noble by the name of Laharza. That's the whole thing. In any case, we ran into another collapse of the mines, and it trapped us near the bottom. The breath was rolling in on us. I ran out of options, and I threw everything I had into the Rune of Thale, and I kind of blacked out until I was on the surface near the hole, and then I blacked out again. That's the truth. I swear it. I know that's not very reliable or useful, but it's just the truth.
I see, and that is the truth as best you understand it.
Nods.
Let me make you aware of what has been going on here in the past several days, and I think you will see my predicament. Thessia, it appears that as many as a dozen people may have died as a result of the hole that was, if you are correct, shaped through Skaan. And I have been working day and night, not only to see that the College of Alteration is giving everything it can give to repair the damage to the underground, to repair the damage on the surface, but also to cooperate with civic and religious authorities in their understandable desire to apprehend what happened in this situation. And I believe I had finally managed to... I felt, for a moment, just a little bit of pride. I had outdone myself, you see, because I had managed to put it about that the whole, as featureless, smooth, perfect as it was, and at the scale that it suddenly appeared, was, in fact, too perfect, too grand, too great a creation for any mortal shaper. Certainly too great for myself. And I am, after all, the head of the college, so surely that should mean no shaper under my direction could have been responsible. Indeed, the only conclusion one could draw, surely, was that the appearance of this chasm was somehow a divine act. The providence of God, and as we all know, God can be a cranky bitch, and sometimes people die in the face of their miracles. these things happen. And I really believed, naively perhaps, that the college was home free. And somehow it seems as though the story has gotten a bit muddled. Because just as it seemed to become accepted wisdom that this hole was some manner of divine intervention, I started hearing another story from different people that it was, in fact, she gestures across the table, your doing. And you were indisposed until recently, and so I didn't have much I could do at the time. You weren't available to give your side of the story.
I see. Okay. Kind of like claps her hands together and thinks. So,
So?
I mean, it could still be divine intervention. You know, maybe a god's blessing upon a shaper to pull them out of a terrible situation. You know, I'm not really good at on the fly coming up with something like this, but I'm sure we can figure something out. I didn't intend for any of this. I want that to be abundantly clear.
I think we had better get our story straight, you and I and the rest of the college, to claim that God was acting through you is quite a bold one.
Yeah, it's like I said, it's not my first choice. I'm not really sold on the idea.
I will do what I can. There is one... I'm
But,
forced to ask another uncomfortable question here, Thessia.
of course.
Because I have my ways. I have my sources of information for retrieving it and disseminating it. That is part of this job that I consider myself rather good at, actually.
Mm-hmm.
I have it on some source that my best effort to trace back the source of this second rumor that you were responsible claims that this was something you said, that you had declared it so.
So I was really hoping this is Will. I was really hoping that the rumor spreader would like do a better job of like kind of muddying up the waters a bit. But it makes sense this would bite me far fiercer.
Well, she leans over the table. Now, of course, not everyone has access to the information that I do, so luckily for both of us, I doubt that the source of the rumor is common knowledge. But I have to ask if that is true as well.
I had just gotten out of a coma, so
A simple yes or no will do.
yeah.
I see. Very well. I suppose it doesn't change the position we find ourselves in now either way. I will do what I can for you, Thessia, but there is only so much that is within my power, and I'm sure you're aware that I have to prioritize the reputation of the college above all else.
And as you should.
Figure this out, Thessia. Tell me what you're going to say.
Right. Uh, I was also hoping to pick your brain on something.
What would that be?
Maybe not the time, considering it was over a year ago at this point, but whatever did happen with Myron. I only
Myron?
Myron.
Why... What reason have you to make this a concern at this moment?
Names come across my table once or twice, and I was just curious, that's all. Didn't expect to see his name recently.
She folds her hands behind her back, kind of looks at you for a few seconds. How exactly would his name have come to your attention recently? To my understanding, he has been dead for some time.
She nods.
God rest his soul, naturally.
Well, you gotta figure, with everything that's been going on, I have been bumping into people and I've been trying to pick some brains. And some folks had also talked about past shapers that have been out of the limelight for a while. Myron popped up once or twice.
And what exactly is it you're asking me? You want to know more than was told to the college at the time? Because there's not much more that I know. He was stricken by some sort of condition, and it seems that it caused his death and the deaths of his family.
All right. No, it was more than a curiosity than anything.
She narrows her eyes a little, but only for a moment. I suggest you keep your mind focused on the here and now until this matter is fully resolved.
Absolutely.
Sweeps the curtain aside and walks out quickly.
Kind of like wraps her fingers on the table a little bit. Yeah, I don't have a good out. Yeah, she's just thinking, she's like trying to figure out any possible out for this. And didn't get much of a read off of Ninril about Myron as she had hoped.
About the extent of your read there is that she probably does know a little more than what she just said to you, but was it a little more or is it a lot more? That's hard to judge.
Yeah. Do I go with divine intervention? Going through me would be bold, wouldn't it? Also, then the religious people are going to be on my case. I don't really want to deal with that. Alright, well, we'll just figure something out, I guess. And she'll head out. Still doesn't have a plan at all.
Yep. Well, perhaps now we swap away so that you will have a little time to think if there's particular action you want to take here.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Okay. Let's see. So, whither art thou whither?
Yeah.
um,
What?
so I want to make sure that I have the correct context as we get back to you.
Mm-hmm.
You were uh the Agdaki who you spoke to was interested in the third man, the indescribable third man. Were you interested, or were you looking at a different angle, or were you gonna wander and see where God takes you?
I could wander and see where God takes me. The original plan was to go to the chapel in hopes
That's
that
right. Yes.
I
Yes.
could find Orcris, because as far as Wither's concerned, Orcris was like the last person around when they left.
Yeah, you were waiting there. I remember
But
now.
if God decides to intervene while I'm chilling, then like that's
I mean,
God's
that's just the
business.
thing that that's God. Yeah, that's just a thing that can happen. Let me grab something then.
Incidentally, I'm back.
Welcome
Okay.
back.
Oh, okay. That's. I think you had
Yes, I
Yeah.
know.
I was like, uh-oh, is Will being in the middle of this
No,
actively going?
that's why I made a
Yeah.
noise so you know I was still
Yeah,
here.
yeah. It's like, I mean, I guess, if the fire alarm's going off or something, that's just that'll happen.
That's just how it
Um,
be.
that's what we do.
That's just what Thessia said.
That's just what Thessia
Thessia,
said.
independently of will,
Yeah.
is like BRB.
Honestly, she probably would be at this point, like trying to like lock her brain out, like, this is, I don't want to be a part of this right now.
Right. So Wither was heading for that particular that temple, and Orcris, you were kind of already along the lines of like, we'll try and find an excuse to call on Thessia again.
It was more like I was gonna go over to Thessia's house.
House, yeah, yeah. Um, I mean,
But I could stop by a place. I'll do what I'll do what it takes to make whatever we need to do work.
yeah, I'm just thinking how I want to arrange the pieces on my game board.
Yeah, I always thought it was weird how you're always referring to us as pawns.
It's a little weird.
I always thought it was a little weird how you were thanking people for disposing of those useless pawns. It
Yeah.
it doesn't feel great.
It's just weird.
It's like a little. I feel minimized.
Well, you might not have to worry about one for long. I'm probably just gonna go to jail.
Pop like a grape, girl.
You're always talking about
Actually,
how everyone
okay.
knows your pawns and your twisted game.
No, okay. I can see the matrix. I know how we
Oh,
can
you got
do
it? You
this.
see the
Okay.
numbers?
I think I have, yes. Okay, so delete those guys. We
Oh, the
put
dog is
not.
howling. I'm sorry if you hear him.
I don't so far.
So far, so good.
Yeah. Okay. So we're gonna put. Yep. Oh, that's right. Okay. Yeah. You are purple.
Orp. Oh,
Purple.
oh, hi, Al.
Yeah. Okay. Yes. This works. Okay. So Wither, you make your way to the very nice temple where you had previously met Charides and Krontia, the religious authorities here, and Charides had called Orcris to meet you and to see if maybe you can catch lightning in a bottle twice. Let's go with you. Okay. So whether you return to the temple, we're going to preload, we're going to set the viewport, and we're going to activate.
Oh, Arp.
So you make your way to the temple.
Where did Autumn go? She
Oh
died it.
God, yeah, no, she
She
got-
died it again.
She fell in the gutter when you went. Bit. There you go. Yeah. Autumn has seemed a little more comfortable the longer that she's continued to travel with you, and in particular, Twiceborn, unsurprisingly, often end up spending a lot of time in temples, and so she looks entirely at ease as you step in here. Though looking around in a bit of awe, it's likely that she's never been to this specific temple before. And you scan around. You don't catch sight of Orcris around here at this exact moment, but you do recognize the priest of this temple, Krantia, back here, talking to a glowing woman.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Hmm.
What kind of glow does she give off? What is the vibe? Do they look like they're having like a heated conversation or like a kind
They
of
look like
conversation?
it looks fairly relaxed. It's likely that they're back there because they want to be able to speak semi-privately without it echoing everywhere. It doesn't look heated, however. But let me here we go. Yes, the person speaking to Krantia is a not vaguely humanoid shaped, but very pretty on the far side of the inhuman scale as Skaan go. Feminine in shape, with a large spinel crystal cluster right at her chest, and her body is this rich, deep amethyst color, and constantly, as if she were standing under like a disco ball, basically this kaleidoscopic pattern is constantly shifting and swirling and scattering across her body, the only consistent lights being those that represent her eyes. She has no mouth. As you get just a little bit closer, not really to hear what they're saying, but close enough to hear them talking, you can hear that her half of the conversation, much like Krantia's, since they also don't have a mouth anymore in their anatomy. These are basically these are telepathically overdubbed conversations occurring back here. Real wah 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 to wah 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 communication.
Wither is aware that this type of person is generally regarded as well-to-do if their whole body is made of that much mineral, then she eating good. And Wither recognizes that, but is also like,
Her non-mouth.
this is this is a church, and I can say and do what I want. But at the same time, they're mostly waiting for to see what Autumn's doing, because Autumn hasn't been here before, so they're gonna give Autumn a few seconds to look around and be like, "Wow."
Yeah, well, as you were walking down this aisle and you kind of stopped briefly to take in the kaleidoscope woman in front of you, Autumn, for the first time, actually ended up walking out ahead of you before stopping and sort of noticing that you had paused briefly. It seems like she's just sort of confidently striding toward these people, whether that's just the confidence of like, I'm twice born, I can do what I want, or whether there's anything more to it than that. Not certain, but she pretty much just leads the way, walking straight up to them. And as she approaches, both of them interrupt their conversation and turn to face you. And Krantia, the priest of the temple, steps forward. Ah, you've returned. Your Your name was Wither, was it not?
They just blink.
I am told that all ended well thanks to your intervention. And I do not recognize you. Autumn. Twice born. Indeed. I am Krantia, priest of this temple. It is an honor to make your acquaintance. And the woman standing next to him gives a modest nod to each of you in turn, and just emanates a single word of introduction. Etria. Ah, yes. Etria's we're old acquaintances, and she had stopped in to pay a visit and to pay her respects to the temple. But what can I or what can either of us do to assist you, Twiceborn? We're
Wither
looking
was
for-
going to
yeah.
talk
Oh, go
and then
ahead.
notices that Autumn was about
Yeah.
to just walk up and do it themselves.
We're looking for the thieves who are responsible for the theft that Wither investigated the other day. Ah, but I was led to understand that the item was returned. Yes, it was. We're looking for them just the same. I see. And Krantia kind of pivots to you, Wither, expectantly to see if there's more context here, because this isn't. They wouldn't be here.
Mm-hmm.
Autumn seeks an apology.
Ah, and well does she deserve one. A shame that the reprobates did not furnish you with it when they were initially apprehended. Perhaps they are deserving of further punishment in light of that, as if their existing crimes weren't heinous enough.
Nay, shame is a great burden to put upon an individual. Zoiod has informed us.
Ah, of course. Well, whatever is to the satisfaction of you, Autumn, since it was you that they harmed. She looks a bit conflicted. We were hoping, she looks back to you, that there might be a man we could meet here who would know something. Ah, Master Sharidy's guest. Unfortunately, Sharidy's is not present, and I would not know where to seek him at this moment. But I can surely get the message to him in time.
We do not have time.
If you don't mind, Master Krantia, I would prefer to speak to them myself. Alone. Of course. I shall see to the needs of the other temple goers. Please excuse me. Looks a bit taken
Dejected.
aback.
Mm-hmm.
Of like, oh, all right, I'll fuck off then. Your name is Wither, did you say?
We have been called as such.
She looks, she considers the distinction that you made there and thinks for a moment. I am somewhat impressed that you would assert your own judgment of these men, regardless of what the priest of a lavish temple had to say about the matter. Is that simple, is that simple twice-born boldness, or do you speak so freely with all people?
Hmm. We do not speak to many people.
I see.
Is this a problem?
She considers for a moment. No. I think it's rather an admirable quality, actually. And you, Autumn, I believe, you had something stolen. That would be your mortar and pestle, would it not? Uh, yes. I suppose you must have heard about it from the priest here? Indeed, after a fashion. And I see you're still both pursuing this matter, then. Really just for the sake of an apology? There's nothing more I can get out of them. She looks to you, Wither, in case you have a different answer.
Hmm. We have no particular... What is the word? Emotional attachment to this quest.
And yet you pursue it.
Hmm. We suppose we seek clarification. Is this the word? An answer.
She can't smile, of course, because she has no mouth, but the patterns swirl briefly in a way that reads to you as like a minor short-lived smile with some humor to it. I would like to assist you on this matter, if I may. Particularly, well, you were the one responsible for recovering this mortar and pestle in the first place, were you not? You tracked down the thieves, dealt with them, and it would seem judged them in the end. I'm told they were not simply killed on the spot, although no one can seem to verify anything about them now.
Mayhap their vanishing is... what is the word? Their punishment?
Perhaps so. Perhaps so, and yet we can't simply leave it up to question, can we? If you believe that all the punishment they require has already been meted out, then I suppose, aside from your apology, there's no more necessary business with them, but I, for one, would be very interested to know for certain what has become of them. For that matter, what has become of the other items that they may or may not have stolen. I don't suppose they mentioned any other thefts they might have committed?
We do not recall as such.
Shame. Then most of the blame doesn't lie at their feet. I suppose I introduced myself by name before, but allow me to make things a little clearer for you. My name is Etria, and I am a High Magistrate of Skaan. And I am presently seeking to unravel a series of thefts. Many more than just the one incident that you investigated. It seems many reforged items have gone missing in recent months. Too many to be dismissed as coincidence. In
And
my...
this is.
Go ahead.
And this is. Something that you seek our assistance.
Yes, this and more. I am charged with all sorts of duties in my position, you see, and most commonly, it falls to me to judge the rightful punishment that should fall upon wrongdoers in our city. There are many magistrates, of course, but a lot of the most damning or deranged cases end up falling to me. And I believe that anyone responsible for stealing scores of reforged items must surely be deranged. So it's likely that their fate will rest in my hands, them and many others. To state it clearly, I could use someone to further my own investigation, someone who is unlikely to be denied entry, well, just about anywhere. If either of you might be interested in such an arrangement, should it not conflict with your own divine missions, of course. There's a swirl across her that reads to you like a little bit of just a hint of like irony or irreverence.
Mm-hmm. Wither slowly looks over to Autumn and tries to judge the expression on her face. Tries to get a read on what's going on here, because obviously I know what the situation is, but I'm not quite sure if Wither has clocked their level of... maybe not their level, but their exact nature of what the supposed involvement would be here, and the actual, like, connotations that come with it.
Okay. Yeah. Autumn kind of looks a bit, initially a bit like, oh, this is a lot very fast, and puts a hand on her face and thinks deeply. I don't think I could give you an answer until my personal stake in this is done. Until I get my apology, I mean. Something tells me, I think God tells me that's what I need next. That's the next step for me.
No more, no less involvement.
I don't know. If this could possibly be related to my divine mission, I shouldn't turn away, but I don't think I'll know until I find this truth that matters to me right now. Etria kind of pivots from Autumn to you. Entirely reasonable. And what of you, Wither? You say you have no personal stake?
We seek only to assist Autumn in receiving absolution. For now. Past that, there is nothing.
Well then, perhaps the first step should be for me to give you whatever assistance I can in seeing that that comes to pass. She taps. There's a little tick 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 as she taps her crystal fingernail against her crystal face. That being said, there are two matters before me right now. One I've already described, and one I need to attend to. Perhaps you would like to accompany me briefly. There's another matter that I need. Well, I could stand to take any help that you could offer for investigation, and if you choose not to, that's entirely your business. But, well, between you and me, it's a very interesting one. Plenty of godliness about it. It's certainly possible it might spark something for you.
Does it look like she's talking to both of us, or just with her, or...
It looks like she is very diplomatically continuing to with sort of practiced public speaking technique to continue to pivot between the two of you so you both are involved in the conversation. But go ahead and roll to die.
Ooh, yeah, I have a thing almost for this, don't I? Hang on. Would I be able to use any of my gifts for this, I wonder? Not
Well,
really,
I'll
maybe?
tell you what. She is emitting a color right now if you want to
Yeah.
take your new guy for a test
My
ride.
new guy. Let's go with my new guy. Let me go with my new guy. So that will give me. I'll just die, or I roll
Yep.
roll to do, or roll to die.
Roll to die.
Okay, gotcha. Boop. Oh, well, I might as well.
And to use the ting, yeah. You unseal a little bit of that void again. And it's a much less intense experience than the other day. But again, the world blacks out a little bit, except for whispers not being spoken by people, but just sort of radiating off them. Their intent, their worldview. And appraising Etria in this moment, you get a kind of shock of blue across your vision, and those whispers just a little bit flow into you, and you can kind of see the world through her eyes for a moment, and understand what not even anything as specific as what she's thinking, but almost like what her soul is thinking. Where is her consciousness right now? What part of her is guiding her actions? Which is all a bunch of fancy fucking GM bullshit speak for the raw heavy mechanics, the only thing you care about if you're a Dungeons and Dragons player. You can tell her blue stat is called Appraising Eye, and it represents her ability to immediately answer the question, what here can be of use to me? I for talent in subordinates. I for useful details in the surroundings. Which I will.
Gotcha.
And contextually, you get the sense she has taken the measure of both of you in this short conversation, and her impression is she is much more interested in you.
Main character syndrome. Sorry.
Main character syndrome, but also some specific things you've chosen to say during this conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Will this other matter require a large amount of time or effort that could interfere with Autumn's quest?
Well, my own information that I've gathered so far suggests that certainly today will not require much time. Really, I just need to convey a message. But, well, I suppose how much time it ends up taking will be how interested you are in it. Whether it speaks to you, whether it seems to connect to your own, well, if you've no personal involvement in this, your own, whatever you do have personal involvement in. I think you'll find it rather fascinating.
I'm gonna do something silly here. I'm gonna activate by God's hands
My
be
death
guarded.
laser.
My death laser, yeah. Fuck this lady. Because Wither wants to know if this is really if what is happening here is a mortal woman casually convincing them that she's doing God's will, or if it's actually God's will. It's kind of a nice little parallel to what Tessie is dealing with here.
Yeah.
So, is this a roll to do?
Let's see. You know what? Yeah, just give me a roll to do, and based on what range you're in, I'll give you more or less to work off of.
Okay, so I'm just gonna roll the macro for that actual ability. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Bonk. Oh, I don't know, man. I don't know.
Okay.
Very polarizing.
Your best guess, your gut, is that in this moment, this woman is doing God's bidding without knowing that's what she's doing.
Okay. Wither Wither looks over at her and then looks at the top of her head and then looks up and up and up and up and up.
She's getting taller.
They stare at the ceiling for a bit, if there's like a window or something up there that they can see the sky. And the thought goes through their head, what does this mean? What are you playing? Is this fun? Is this a game? They look back down to her.
Very well. You will have our assistance. Yes?
Looks over at Autumn.
Yes. Yes, if you can help us find the thieves as well, then I don't mind.
It would do well to use their names, Autumn.
If you can help us find Nemeru and Desmond. If only so they can look me in the eye and explain what they did and why, and repent for it. Atria folds her hands over her little chest crystal. Very well, then. If you wouldn't mind accompanying me a short way. I want a real quick cut. Let's get our boy Orcris in here. Not in here where we already are, but it seems to me, Thessia, that you've got a problem And
And who better to ask than the devil?
who better to ask than the devil? Well, since Orcus was looking to maybe go and try and find you again anyway, no reason to cut back to Thessia just sitting in the room like, yeah, I still don't know what I'm gonna do if we can cut to two heads being better than one.
Orcus walking up, just kind of rubbing his hands together. I'm about to get a payday for that debt she owes me. I grab him. You need to help me. That's not what I came for. No.
That's not how this works. Yeah, let's see. You know what? I think rather than having you just be hanging around at the college, why don't we put you back in the Lyceum? Because it's somewhere you may wander out to a little bit if you're walking around trying to come up with your play here.
Yeah.
And Orcus is on the way to either the college or your house. Let's delete these people out of existence.
Be gone.
Make sure I don't have any rogue player characters left over on this map. No, okay, we're good.
Don't worry, if there's any withers left around, that's just their ghost.
Yeah.
Like, that's normal
That's
for them
just
to
the
be
after
there.
image.
Yeah. Sometimes we'll
Very
just find those, like,
long-lasting.
Gmodding around.
We have turned into oranges.
Thanks to my powerful empathic abilities, I was able to suss that out.
Okay, so yeah, we're gonna
Eyebrows
put.
move down below my mouth.
All right. Set the view position. Preload the scene. Let's get a music going. And
I like the statue's about to like crane game pick up with her.
Yeah, that's
It's
what I was
patting
thinking too.
me. I'm getting a nice little loving pat on the noggin. That's God, baby.
Oh, there's multiple Orcree.
Are there?
Not where
Yeah,
I'm
there's
sitting.
top left, and then there's top
Top
bottom
left.
right.
Oh no! Die! Sorry.
That's the alley where he kills people. Kiln's also
Yeah.
there too.
Crime Alley is in every universe.
hmm
Let's see. Still busy?
Still busy.
Is it still like crazy over here?
Uh,
Oh, like people.
Oh,
Yeah, a lot of people.
it's more back to a normal pace now.
Hmm.
You're the college has calmed down a little, and you're still far enough away from the plaza where all the colleges are centered that yeah, the foot traffic has died down a bit.
I see. Yeah, I just sort of take a look around, take in the plaza before spotting Thessia. Oh. Madam Thessia, I was just on my way to see you.
She looks up. She's got her head in all four of her hands, and she just slowly looks up. Oh, hi, Orcus. It's lovely to see you again. How are you?
Are you feeling well?
I've been better.
No.
I mean,
Nothing physically wrong.
No, but you know.
Oh, good.
But I mean, there's a very real chance I'm gonna be executed or something by the end of today. We'll see where it takes us.
What?
Yeah.
What happened?
Well, I went back to work. And
That boy, was that a mistake? They kill you for that
Executable
here.
crimes.
yeah, I mean, there's more to it than that. It wasn't just because I wasn't there for a few days. It's more the whole. Yeah. I need to provide a solid explanation for it, and I don't have any good ones.
What are your bad ones?
Oh, so all of them. Well, I could just tell the truth, which is not a very exciting answer. and also is unbelievable because I barely believe it.
What is the truth?
She like looks around, like she's like, it doesn't matter. I already said bullshit I shouldn't have already, and she just kind of like leans forward. I mean, I'm quite certain that I caused it. The breath was about to roll over. My mother and I put everything I had into a rune, and I woke up on the surface next to the hole, and then I blacked out until you provided medical aid.
Next to the hole.
Nods.
And you were underground when this happened?
At the bottom.
What does your mother remember of this?
Thessia kind of leans back. She was unconscious for the entire thing, because we had fallen earlier from mine collapse. That's a whole other thing. They're probably dead. There was another person until the stone swimmer came after us, and their name was Wither. Very odd individual, but very helpful. The only reason I got as far as I did before making the hole and killing 12 people, so that's something.
Wither.
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
Small campaign.
Have
So-
you gone to see it?
She thinks about that. No, I admittedly haven't really had the courage to do so.
Well, Madam Thessia, if you would allow me, I would like to be the wind beneath your wings.
I got nothing better to do, and it seems like you have some sort of idea. She stands up. Sonar.
Pinging.
Locating hole.
Radio waves.
It dawns on me that I've not gone to really look at it either.
Oh. Yeah, I imagine it's not good.
Well, let's go find out.
As we're going, I kind of like give the other sales pitch of like, I mean, the other idea is that, blame it on divine intervention. Shrug. I'm not exactly fond of the concept, but,
Divine intervention may be all we have.
Right, but rumors have gone around. You were present, and you told me not to do it, and I did it, and I think it's partly because of, like, concussions and comas. No, I'm going to blame myself. It was my mistake. There is a lot of association with the whole with me. So I could say God went through me, but I feel like that's blasphemous.
God goes through us every day.
Writing that down. It might be useful for my testimony. Yeah.
Well, if you ever need a public defender.
So you're a doctor and an attorney?
I have no licenses for such things.
And I do?
But I would defend you.
That's very sweet of you. Just like kind of tilts her head a little bit, like kind of picking up the energy a little bit, but still hazy. I think it's more of a thing of like, wow, someone's trying to help me right now. That's nice.
It sounds like you are a bit overwhelmed.
Yeah, the last few days have been pretty miserable. And I really haven't caught my footing yet, it seems. I thought I did, And then I went to the college, and very reasonably, a lot of people are super upset, as they should be. And I keep on learning little bits and pieces about, yeah, about the whole.
Well, I've never found myself. Fortune is the point. What we perceive as fortune is the point where preparation meets opportunity. The best thing you can do to cultivate good fortune is to be prepared. Ergo, we should study the whole. Everything we can find out about it. Everything you can find out about it.
Yeah. No, I mean,
that
that
might
makes
give
sense.
us an idea of what to use for your defense.
She nods. That makes sense to me.
You, as you descend down into the lower parts of the city, you reach the works, a very busy section. A lot of workshops, especially a lot of potters around here. A lot of kilns and furnaces belching smoke into the sky. And you come to an area where the hustle and bustle sort of starts to slip into a little bit of a dead zone. It starts getting quieter, even here in the heart of what should be one of the busiest parts of the city. Quiet in a... The quiet almost has a funereal texture to it. Like people are mourning or just plain frightened or confused, worried. They're still going about their business, but they're not saying much. It seems like they're trying to make little noise as much as they can, just keep their heads down and try and ignore the extremely difficult to ignore source of concern in their midst.
Do you hear
Loading
that?
the hole.
Do you hear that, Thessia?
Do you mean the nothing?
As if the hole is eating the sound out of the very air.
Well, let's hope it's not doing that. I'd prefer if it was just a hole.
Oh, I don't think so. We can hope.
Turns like
Why'd you say it like that?
it's in this moment like he's like, wait a minute. My doctor's kind of weird.
Wait a minute, this guy's a freak.
Oh wow, this is like way bigger than I thought it was.
As you step closer, you can see there's a handful of people going about their business. There's a non-trivial number just kind of staring, still in disbelief or wonder. And there's a couple of shapers who seem to be here supervising or otherwise making sure they're prepared if and when they receive the instructions to start sealing it up at this level. And directly before you, indeed, you can see that two buildings that stood very close, perhaps were even adjoined, right here. One has been entirely claimed. The only signs that it was even there are the extra rubble that's not from the neighboring building.
Do we happen to know what workshop that would have been? Like what it did and who owned it?
Do you happen to know? Probably not, because you don't live in this part of the city, but could you find out? I would certainly think so.
Yeah.
Hope they had good insurance.
Yeah, well, that's the start of their problem.
Halcyon City!
Yeah.
Yeah, Halcyon City would know how to deal with this.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Thessia, I mean, but it's worth a shot. Thessia turns to Arcris. I You seem like a very knowledgeable man. Do you happen to know what workshop this would have been?
Nope.
Not even gonna roll.
I haven't the slightest guess. However, well, we might use some context clues.
We could always torture the information out of the passerby.
Context clues! Stab! Tell me what you know!
I'm collecting context clues.
First, I must create context. Let's see.
How
Well,
can we investigate this if it's not yet a murder scene?
We've got.
Whoa!
Well, let's see. We've got a fellow with an anvil over there.
Yeah, this the building standing to the side of the hole, near as you can tell, is probably a smithy of some flavor.
We've got a smithy. We've got looks like a corner, some remnants, perhaps. How cleanly does that corner cut?
The hole is perfectly clean under it. The bricks were not split by the hole, and so for the most part, the ones that are clinging on are there in, a sort of jagged Tetris block-like way.
Sure. Here she is.
I maybe would mind your step a little bit.
I want to look down into the hole.
Push him in. Change the course of the campaign forever.
Now you're down 2 PCs.
Wither time all the time.
Whether you like it or not. Yeah, I mean, I guess I'll also, look down in the hole. Is it staring into the abyss and it stares back?
That's a fine question.
Not unlike an eye.
I guess I'm gonna roll to die real quick. Trying to get some colors. That's what I wanted. I want brain. I want to lock in the brain.
Brain increase.
So you're approaching this logically.
Yeah, I just want to
empirically.
Just kind of do as much of a study as possible on this, like the sides, the damage nearby, everything. So here I go.
Oh, what the fuck was that?
Do I? You know what?
Did you see it bounce back and forth from that 20?
Yeah, I sure
like
did.
3 times.
Let's see.
I don't even see your roll to do result. If you made one, it looks
did.
like it. No, Orcris's, I mean.
Oh, I didn't make a roll to do.
Oh, you were talking about. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
That's sure, yeah.
I'm gonna use Scion of Betalis, and I'm going to
Oh?
re-roll a to-do because I desperately need this, so I will increase my debt by one. By
And
one.
why don't you go ahead and before we resolve your reroll on this, roll me a d20
Oh.
for debt.
Oh, yeah.
Can't spell debt without d20.
I really wish that could have
Right.
been...
Why couldn't that be the one? Yeah.
Now I'm fucked for my actual roll.
You'll be fine. Okay,
You'll
nothing.
be fine. Random dice are random.
Oh,
Okay.
It's a little better.
I wanted that.
And
17.
now you use Scion of Betalis there. So don't forget, you also have to tell me. You gotta give me a little flavor
Yeah.
here and tell me, if you're using the reroll one, how your privileged education prepared you to try and analyze this whole.
So I think what it is that Fessia obviously has been with the Shapers for a long, long time, and she was also the daughter of one of the, I wouldn't say one of the best, but like a very talented one. However,
She made the hole.
I mean, I did make the hole. I mean, there is that as well.
I
It's
received
hers.
privileged education in hole making just the other day when I made one.
But I think the other thing is that, like, her brain has been running nonstop of, like, why could Myron manipulate that prison? And then it kind of hit her as she was, like, going home. She's like, wait, how did my dad? Because, like, what other way could they have made such a clean-cut building if he didn't also have a similar skill set? And so now her brain is running. It's like, what else could I have learned from him? Or was there something that he had taught me in the past that I may have like not fully understood at the time, but I may have tapped into unintentionally?
Okay. Let's see. You went with blue, so
That's
that should
the
affect
logic.
the nature of what I'm giving you here. Well, it's certainly the first logical premise you'd have to start from is that you definitely, this is not something you can do consciously. You are well aware of about the upper extent of your capabilities for how much you can shape, how fast.
Yeah.
And this is certainly many orders of magnitude out of line with them. So the next question might be, well, so was it really me? Or did this somehow happen by coincidence? Or was this God did this or whatever?
Yeah.
But I think, let's see, yeah, for blue, for a 17, if you actually examine the hole here, and certainly if you lay a hand on its edge, which you can easily do through the metal grate that's been set up to provide a walkway, when you, just like how when you lay a hand on shapeable stone, you kind of intuitively can sense its current structure because you have to hold it in your mind to be able to manipulate it. When you lay a hand on the side of the hole here, it feels familiar to you in the way something that you have actually manipulated as a shaper tends to feel. And you feel certain enough about that, drawing on your own, both your learned expertise and your intuition, that you can immediately banish pretty much any doubt from your mind. Somehow, you made this. You could lay any amount of money. You could bet God that your powers are what produced this hole.
I'd like to ante up one god.
I'd like to splash the pot with a little God here.
Yeah.
And just from examining it up here, though, there's no obvious way to resolve the contradiction between I know what my powers can do and it doesn't include this, and this was definitely done by my powers. However, I'll give you one last thing, which is it does occur to you. This was the exit point of the hole. Presumably, you stopped shaping when you broke through to the surface, even if you weren't aware of what you were doing. But there might be more clues to be gained at the start point. If you could retrace your steps and find your way back down to where you got trapped and started digging this hole, there might be more clues of what happened or how you managed it.
What?
And now, oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, Thessie's gonna start studying what would be the fastest way to get down there.
Jump and die.
I mean, sure.
Yeah. Because you weren't conscious for this, you actually don't know how deep you were at the time you started. So just looking down from up here, all you can say is it's deep enough that even Skaan, very good vision in the dark, you're not even close to seeing the bottom. So probably because you're you could probably climb down this fine. It might be a long climb and
Take
a
it like a
slightly
half hour.
Yeah, it might take a long time, but you could probably do it. You're capable of it with your forearms gift.
Yeah.
Alternatively, you could take a more conventional way underground and retrace your steps to the entry point from that way. And then Orcris, you are also gazing unto the navel of darkness, yes?
A navel. That's one too. Yes. I'm looking at it from a symbolic perspective, more of a what is this? What are you really? Are you a mouth? Are you an eye? Are you an ear?
Let's see. And you
Belly
rolled
button.
and you
The
rolled a-
navel.
I hope you're not a butt.
But you might be a butt.
Okay. 10. All right. Orcris, you look at this and your mystical intuition represents this to you as, let's see, a 10, so I'm not going to get too specific, but I think the most apt metaphor for this to you is it is a wound. It is a wound from the first blow that has been struck against either whatever this place represents, whether it's this part of the city or all of the city or the provenance of God itself. This is not the killing blow. This is the first blood. A sort of beginning of the end, if you will.
Oh,
Oh!
he said the thing.
I see.
I think Thessia's gonna walk up to this person and be like, excuse me, I'm so sorry to be a bother.
Oh, Master Thessia. They hadn't made it clear whether you were alive or not, so I'm glad you're alive.
Yeah, to be fair, things were kind of up in the air, and it's been hectic the last few days.
Sir, you shouldn't. That's just to catch people if they fall. You don't want to be down there.
I feel it.
Oh my god, he like does a double take. He didn't even notice you were wearing a fucking blindfold.
That's my doctor. He's fine.
Anyway, continue, Will.
I was curious, considering the damage here. Do we know what workshop was present and any other details regarding, well, the incident? Like what time?
Well, to be honest, the Shapers are mostly just focused on dealing with it as it is, more so than, the forensics of what exactly happened.
For sure.
But to my understanding, he looks down and then over at the adjacent building. I believe this was a metallurgist, and yeah, he makes a gesture with his hand to kind of generally convey the dimensions of the building that was there. Ran to about here and up to the edge of the street there. So you can see, just that one corner was kind of snipped off when the rest fell in.
Right.
They haven't really recovered any of the rubble. I don't think anyone's been all the way to the bottom yet. Shapers are just going through the underground tunnels and patching up openings that shouldn't be there. And, of course, wildlife's encroaching on tunnels that shouldn't be. It's going to be messy for quite a while.
Yeah, that's kind of what I assumed. Thessia's still studying the hole. Looks over to her doctor.
Fighting the temptation to fly.
Well,
How hard it is to be a bird.
actually, I think birds have it pretty easy when it comes to situations like this.
And
Do you want to see the bottom?
yes, I would love to see the bottom.
She extends a hand. Then I suggest you hold on tight.
You get ready to saddle up Orcarus here, or I guess with how you climb, it'd be more like strapping him into a baby Bjorn of your other two arms, while your remaining two are free to climb. And as you start to look for a point of descent here, the already fairly hushed noise of business and people walking about here drops to basically dead silence for a moment, because someone has arrived.
Oh. Like getting ready to jump in the hole.
So here you can see it. God. Quite possibly.
Before I approach it, could I do an immediate vibe check on the hole?
Oh. What color is the hole dot? You know what? Sure. Yeah, no. Because it's you, I'll allow you to vibe check really anything.
I'm
you
gonna
want
vibe
over.
check
It just-
God, please.
You can, even if it's an inanimate object, you'll probably, at worst, you'll be like, oh, all right, it's actually an inanimate object.
That's crazy.
Damn, it really do be just a hole.
Each character may only be the target of this ability once per session. Hole, you're a new character.
Mhm.
Welcome to the character roster, buddy. Yeah, go
and
ahead
that's
and
roll to do.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I believe you should still be locked into black. Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh.
Mhm.
Oh. Yeah. You reach out, that same sort of general perception of the soul that you've come to understand, and you take in the enormity of the hole, all the way down from here to its base. And it's swarming like an anthill. There's people up here, there's people at many levels of the underground right up against the side of it, working on it or just staring at it in awe. And that's its physical nature. But you consider deeper. What does it feel like? What is its vibe? Is there a trace of something with a soul, a mind, anything like that permeates it? And it's got a sort of, for lack of a better word, it's got a scent. It's got an oof. It's got a vibe that you recognize. It's not one you have, like, intimately or have felt many times. But it's one you've definitely felt before. Several times, and recently. And you think and you stare into the blackness, and for the moment, the hole appears to smile back at you. The smile. It was that smile. It was that damn smile. This hole is of the smiling one. And you trace that, you pull on that thread all the way up to, your head starts to crane back up from looking down into the hole, and it just naturally drifts into place. And there she is.
Wither looks at this hole and thinks, this is correct. This is right. This is merely a body changing as it grows.
Wish the rest of the city thought that.
Looks at the blueprints like, I don't know what to tell you, man. It's on the thing. It's supposed to be there. You had your chance to complain at the planning meeting.
The city planner is fired.
You didn't go to the city's council?
I mean, we told you we were putting it here. You had all the time in the world to complain then, but no, nobody wants to get involved in local politics.
Now, Etria kind of takes up a station here and looks down past her feet into the hole for a moment. And you see the kaleidoscope swirl and flicker as she herself takes in the impressive sight. And her head raises back up. And she puts her hands very, very lightly in the air. Excuse me. I believe there are representatives of the College of Alteration present. Could you please identify yourselves?
Thessia, who was like about ready to jump in the hole. Oh, raises two hands. Hello.
The shaper you were talking with before raises a hand, and their white flame of hair flickers a bit uncertainly. This man also puts a hand up over here. And Wither, next to you, Etria kind of scans her gaze across each of them, and ends on Thessia, and sort of like cocks her head to the side for a moment. And you see the patterns kind of like, huh.
Mm-hmm.
She lowers her own hands and says, I apologize for distracting you. The two of you, she points to the gentleman here and the one next to you, Thessia, you can resume your business. Don't allow me to distract you. You would be Thessia of Batalus, are you not?
I was really hoping when she pointed over here that I could maybe misinterpret it. Yes, hi. No sense in shouting over this.
Indeed. My name is Etria. I am a High Magistrate of Skaan, and I come here today to inform you that you will be placed on trial for the creation of this architectural feature and the accompanying destruction. We need to assess, you see, whether this was done in ordinance with God's plan, since it was, I'm sorry to say, a bloody act, and only God is allowed to perpetrate such within this city.
Of course, I've been a bit out of it the last few days, and this is actually my first time truly seeing it. I had hoped to learn a bit more, and with your permission, I was actually hoping to go to the bottom.
Oh, by all means, I'm not placing you under arrest or anything of the sort. Naturally, we believe that shapers should be treated with the greatest deference when it comes to their work. The very college exists so that you can perform that work unfettered by constant micromanagement from small-minded bureaucrats such as myself. But of course, that leniency can only extend so far. So I do suggest you do whatever you think necessary to inform yourself. I expect you to report in 48 hours.
That's very generous. Yeah, I just need to...
Oh, she's done talking to you.
Okay, fair enough. Goodbye.
She walks back over to Wither. Well, I didn't expect the star of the event to be here in person. Well, that saves me more of a stroll, and it saves us some time. She kneels down a little bit here, seeing you taking the level of interest you're taking.
Wither is literally lying down on this netting, and they have their head craned off the side, and their hair and veils and everything are just, they're just falling over the edge. But very clearly, sturdy in place.
I just realized, does Thessia see Wither?
I would imagine.
Certainly,
if your eyes were trailing after her as she walked away from you, they'd be naturally led in that direction.
Yeah, I think Thessia immediately, kind of walks over. Wither? Hey, are you even conscious? Hello? Squats down.
Join us.
Yeah, sure. I have no reason to decline that. You were kind enough to help me back down there. Kind of like lays down, two arms spread out to the sides, and then the other two kind of like cupped together, just kind of on her stomach. Well, I'm glad to see that you're alive.
No, we are not.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm glad to see you at all then.
Hmm.
I mean, how did you even get out of there?
How did we? How did we? Looking down into the hole, do we know? Do we remember? Are we allowed to understand?
I don't see why not. Cause from your perspective, it was probably a little disorienting. You got separated from Thessia trying to lead that enlarged stone swimmer away from her. And uh, about the last you saw of her was she kind of entombed herself to try and be out of the way of the stolen breath as it rolled in. The stone swimmer ended up just immediately getting out of dodge as the breath rolled in. And around that time, there was suddenly just a massive and curiously silent displacement of rock. You weren't looking to see it begin, but you could feel the brief tremor and looked over, and she was already gone by then. You didn't see her again. But that's the way you remembered the events.
And can you explain to us
Mm.
what did I see and feel and think when the breath came over me?
Uh let me answer a question with a question real quick. Do you think in Wither's own recollection that they are aware of any previous time they've come into contact with the stolen breath, or as far as they know was this the first time?
I think that they have a I think that if this happened, if the stolen breath came over them down there, it would have reminded them if they had before.
Mhm. That makes sense. Uh the breath rolled over you, and it looked like it was going to be a chilly mist, but in fact when it washed across you, it didn't have any temperature sensation. It didn't really feel like anything. You were talking about dulled senses. This was the most dulled you've ever felt. It, other than obscuring your vision, it had no effect on you whatsoever. And which was not necessarily what you were expecting, but as soon as it did that, you thought, of course. Why would it?
Mm-hmm.
It never has before. Can you think of any specific time you've encountered it before? No, but somehow you know.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Did you breathe it in?
Thessia thinks. Maybe.
How did it feel?
If I'm perfectly honest, I don't recall really feeling anything. Though, it sounds crazy, but it doesn't really matter at this point. I had a long dream. I was in a white city. It was essentially a labyrinth more than anything, and I just couldn't really find my way out until I made one.
You were born.
Kind of tilts her head. Is that what you think?
Upon first approach, Etria stated something of curiosity. And our thought was, of course, a mother would approach her child would not leave it unattended. Having you in mind. But now we see it is the other way. This is your mother.
I look at the darkness. Huh. Interesting. You don't think that's some God-related thing, or...
God is mother.
Huh. Kind of goes... Kind of like rolls a little bit to kind of look down to the abyss a bit more. I still don't really understand, though.
Seems your second life has just begun. Let's not try for a third. Whither? I'd say it almost feels coincidental that we meet here.
Wait, you know them?
No.
Oh.
We've met.
Ah.
Yes.
Orcris, like, genuinely hurt for a second. What do you mean?
What the hell did you say, Miss Homer, with Bart choking?
Why you little?
This is a simple observation. Gravity pulls things together. Down. Into one. We must descend.
And this with all three of us together. Feels quite providential.
I mean, Wither, if you'd be able to accompany us, that would be deeply appreciated. I mean, a vast majority of the reason I am even here is because of you.
I have no objection. More insight into this young woman can only bring us closer to the truth. So I will leave you to your own devices with her. And Autumn, we can look into your matter while we wait.
Wither rolls a little bit on the netting, the mesh, and turns to Okris.
Where are the brothers?
Brothers.
The Mourning Brothers.
I haven't seen them since that day.
Slowly tilts their head to look over at Autumn. They took him for his word there.
Yeah. Etria had started to walk away and stopped just at the edge of hearing when you said that, but doesn't comment or turn back around. Autumn looks suddenly hopeful when you ask, like, "Oh, here's someone who might know," and then disappointed. It looks like, given that you appear to be taking him at his word, they're going to do the same. I'm trying to find those two men again. I
Is
want
that
to.
so?
Yes, I want to confront them myself. I didn't get a proper chance before. So, if you're able to assist, then
Well,
I would appreciate it.
I don't get down to that district very often, but if I see them, I'll let you know.
She gives you a little nod and gives you a nod as well with her, like, All right, we've got a plan.
Or I'll let
Awesome.
Wither know, and then Wither can let you know. Or what's the best place to reach you?
I pass my nights at the White Sanctuary. Same as Wither.
I see.
We would suggest, though you do not prefer to interact, mayhap Peregrine could be of aid. Peregrine likes to find use of his
He-
time.
He has also seen them firsthand, as I recall.
That's true. Yes, I'll seek him out. Thank you, Wither. And thank you, was it Alcrease?
Oh, Chris.
Okay. Thank you. Shall we be off then? Yes. We may still have some other avenues of investigation. Good luck down there, Wither.
No response.
Fessy gives a friendly wave, not reading the situation well.
Yeah.
Right, well, I would prefer not to delay too much if you all are interested in joining me down.
I would love nothing more than to jump deep into this yawning abyss.
Well, hold on. Let's pick us like an actual side. Like if we go down the middle, we're not gonna have much luck.
Oh, I know.
I am bored and am leaving.
Goodbye.
They actually do go to walk away and then stop and realize, oh right.
You will follow.
Oh, I guess this way or Chris. I was gonna try and get an achievement, but I guess we could do it your way.
I guess I can just spend my EXP like a buffoon.
I won't.
Calm the fuck down, girl. The hole ain't going nowhere.
And Wither will do as Wither does and lead these strangers into the depths of God.
Oh boy. All right. Well, that seems like a good place to call it for tonight.
Oh boy.
What a weird
Splendid.
place.
What a weird place. What a weird guy.
What a bunch of
He
weirdos.
died. What a bunch of weirdos.
I'm really
Do you think this is how God feels, suspended over earth, looking down upon man, unable to see us?
I don't know.
Probably.
She
Probably.
looks up at us.
Yeah,
well,
you're right.
I mean, he's definitely looking at us through a grate, because otherwise he'd fall.
Yeah.
Mhm. Even God has to
just
abide by
common sense.
fallen safety arrest training.
Yeah. God is not exempt from OSHA regulations.
She looks up at us through a grate, else she'd escape.
Yes,
Oh.
there you go. It's all a matter of perspective. Everything is the same.
Everything.
Everything is just things all the way down. Shall we wrap the recording there?
Yeah, I think so. Toodles.
Goodbye.
Well, hello. It's me again, Present Nays, talking to you through your ear peepers. Those holes on the side of your head. Hello. Hope you all enjoyed yourselves. Let me get a little spot of music rolling and we can look at some fan art. What lies at the bottom of the hole? What darkness lies within the hearts of men? Perhaps all those answers and more will be on display next time on the show that this is. On Beginning of the End. Here we go. I've slipped out of... There we go. Hey
There we go.
Oz. Sorry. I was watching so attentively the end kind of snuck up on me. Usually we post game chat a little more before cutting the recording, but that time it was just like, all right, we're done. See ya.
We're
So
done.
I got
See ya.
I got caught off guard there. All right, let's real quick go ahead and look at some fan art.
Whoa!
Fan art, ain't that the game series they keep making more of?
Fan art, though, that's the thing your butt does sometimes.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Oh, what a
Okay.
weird sesh.
Yeah, thank you. So we've got an imager made by Rosie the Reveler. Thank you for that.
Merci.
Go ahead and look at some things. So first off, we've got walking, or this is you, so go ahead.
Yeah.
It is nice walking with Autumn.
She looks like she's starving. Get her a muffin.
Grandma brain. That's from Pupcat, dude. Thank you. Then from Rosie.
What you cooking?
None of your business. It's curry.
Oh.
What you cooking?
What you cooking?
Try some. I just made it. It's indescribable. My Orcris is just Mr. Aramne.
Yeah.
Also from Rosie.
Oh, the script is out there. Now, there was a little bit more revealed this session. You might not have caught it, but it was there if you go back to when we're in the temple.
Yeah. The secret bonus symbols. Shout out to Viv for her work so far, yes. Viv on the Discord has been very enthusiastically
Very erudite.
cataloging the appearance of the different runes and slowly building up information to try and figure out what they might mean. From Enid Huid, my indescribable walk. And my indescribable talk. The indescribable way that I melt into chalk. Oh, Orcris. Never know what that wacky character's gonna do next. Next up from Totodile, this was
Scotty hats.
pressed the hat button during stream.
Get your hats out here.
Hey,
We run into someone selling funny hats on the side of the street.
hey, I'm haberdashing here. And finally from Pupcat Dude.
VTuber or Chris.
Or Chrissy here.
Chrissy
The
here. What's up?
God.
What's up, subscribers?
Hey, chat.
Chat. What's the secret ingredient? I'll never tell.
I'll never tell.
Goodness gracious me. Well, thank you everyone for coming out to watch tonight. Here's my fan art. It makes no sense unless you know what shenanigans happen during stream. That's just how fan art be a lot of the time.
Indeed.
And yeah, I'm gonna real quick just as a reminder to everyone, if you would like to submit fan art and you'd like it to be shown on the stream at the end here, you can always join the Stabbiness Discord server that I've linked there. And if you would like more beginning of the end content, you can find some on the Discord as well, but also you can find it on my Patreon. On.com/Tom Laughlin. That's what that's supposed to say.
Wow.
Patreon.com/Tom Laughlin. Where there's a bonus episode, there's bonus art, there's bonus lore, there's lots of fun stuff to be had. And it will keep coming out the whole time the show's running. So take a look. I mean, no commitment. You can stop by and just see what kind of stuff I'm posting. And if you're interested, if you want more content about the show, that's right there for you. And I think that's gonna be all for us tonight. So we'll be back next week, same time, same channel. That time is 6 p.m. Eastern on Wednesdays here on twitch.tv/stabbiness. And this episode, like all episodes, will be up on the Stabbiness YouTube channel just one day after its premiere on here. So look out for that tomorrow. If you'd like
Today's episode was brought to you
Today's
by
episode was
Hole.
brought to you by the letter C for cannibal. And until then, we'll see you for the next episode next week. Enjoy, everyone, and have a good night.
Good evening.
Bye.